Hi, it's Jeff Londash, and welcome to Out and About. And today I'm back at one of my favorite places here in Youngstown, Ohio, Easy Street Productions, and two of my favorite people, one of my favorite people, and another guy.
I like that.
Yeah, Maureen Collins and this guy.
Yeah,
Todd was in
Todd Hancock, something like that.
Yeah, Todd with two D's, by the way. Yes, he's got to be special that way. Got to stand out. Egos in the acting business, huh? So Mother's Day is coming up, and you guys have really created a tradition now in the Mahoning Valley here. And we'll start off with you, Maureen. You've got a wonderful play coming up over Mother's Day weekend, and this is going to be really, really a great time.
It is huge. It is the Northeast Ohio premiere of the Broadway musical Matilda. And we finally get to feature some of the most talented kids in Youngstown. It's something we try to do every year, other than our Christmas show. And when this came available, Todd went out of his way to make sure we would be number one. And I'm so excited to get to work on stage with these kids some who have come up through the ranks, been working with us since they were 3 years old. Wow. They're in their teens now. And then, of course, I'm thrilled to introduce some new young people who people are just going to go crazy for.
That's great. We're going to talk a little bit more about these young rascals in a little bit. So what's the process of bringing a play like this? It's not something that you just pick up the phone and go, hey, we're going to do this. It's not that easy, is it?
I wish it was that easy. This one was a bigger process than most. I mean, when we put on shows like our cabaret shows or even our big Christmas show, it's kind of our own show. We put it together ourselves. We arrange the music. You know, we kind of control everything. This one is a royalty show, just like Annie or any other big royalty show. You have to apply for the royalties. They don't always give them to you, especially in a big venue like Powers. It's tricky to get the royalties for a show like this. So we happened to be the first ones in Ohio to do this thing. Now it's only been done a couple of times, other than the Broadway tour in this nation so far. So we're kind of this is a big deal for us. I mean, very rarely is there a show debuted in Youngstown, Ohio for the first time, and for us this is the very first time we've ever done the number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty big things with the music behind this too, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, we just signed Mike Moritz Jr., who is of Broadway fame. I mean, this guy has produced shows on Broadway, Beautiful, the Carole King musical. He's also right now Hadestown just opened on Broadway last night. He's a producer of that. He thinks he's a shoo-in for the Tony this year. But Michael Moritz is one of those guys from Youngstown that did great. I mean, he actually music directed the show when it was on Broadway for several weeks. He came in and played piano. So this guy is coming back in as a favor to us in Easy Street. He's a good friend of ours, and decided, hey, how about if I come in and conduct the show and play piano? And I said, absolutely. We talked to our music director, Don Yalich, he kind of does all the heavy lifting. He's the one that teaches us all the music. He's the one that that assembles the band and just makes sure everything's great. And I talked to him about it, and it was going to be tricky for him to music direct from behind the drums because he's our drummer as well. So it's nice. It's fortunate that Mike's willing to come back to Youngstown. We're kind of, I guess, like his pro bono work for Broadway. He comes back and helps us out. And
could be an experiment too, like treading here before they go elsewhere.
But no, he really loves the show, and he knows how tricky and tough this show is. The score is immense. It's challenging for any musician. So we could try to line up the best ones in town. I mean, we've got some people that we've never played before. We've got Michael Gelfand playing cello, who's the first chair in the Youngstown Symphony. All of our regular guys who are symphony players and Easy Street Little Big Band members. The band is going to kill. It's going to be great.
It's going to be a fun thing. How much work goes into this? Because we're doing this now. What is it? April 20th.
Yeah, well,
21st, something like that.
Today's the 18th.
Today's the 18th. Wow, I'm even ahead of myself. So you've got between now and Mother's Day to prepare to pull off an immense project like this.
Well, I'll tell you, we have like 5 days less than that because we move into Powers ahead of time and do the performances as rehearsals for some kids in the area, and then do the show. It'll close on Mother's Day, actually. So I cannot believe the work that has gone into it so far, and we're just really starting to get into that, finding all the correct props and finding all the materials, getting all the costumes done. But the work that the kids, that Don Yalich has done, getting the music prepared for us so that we can be in this room without an actual piano player here with us every night. He puts together all this music that will really just become part of the archives. But that way we press a button and the music is playing for us so that we can see where we're at. We've been in rehearsal, maybe a month? Maybe a month, and Todd he figured we needed a good 7 weeks, and that's about what we're going to have. That we're on Easter break right now, so we're letting a lot of people take their little trips to Florida or wherever, and then they'll come back, and we will start next week strong, just running the show and the cast that he has assembled. And a lot come because of Todd just saying, do this for us. We had a great audition process, but usually in the end, there's still those little missing ingredients. And we've been able to get together some of our great local performers who are part of our troupe all the time and do stuff for us, giving them nice little juicy roles, and some new people who showed up for auditions that really have me excited because it's some other people that we can use in the future. But I know that Todd agrees with me. This little gal that we have coming in to do Matilda, she's no beginner. She has done some other shows in the area and outside of the area. I've traveled around to see her do parts, but I've never seen a child. Her name is Anna Sophia Vaccari. I have never seen a child so devoted, embarrassing all of us. She's practically off book, and she is never off stage. She has pages and pages of, big paragraphs. This is not just like, oh, I'm Matilda. No, this is her telling the whole story that is written in this fabulous little book that so many people have endeared to themselves. This is not the movie. This is the musical, the Broadway play, and this kid is going to be, she's going to be a shining light, and people will never forget this performance.
Is she from this area?
She is actually from Mercer, but has been coming over. She was a rascal in our Christmas show for many years and has been coming up through the ranks. She's got those kind of parents that will do everything and anything for us. Her mother and her grandmother are utilizing and making all of these really special props for the show that we would not even begin to know how to do, and they have taken that on. Wow. Her father brings her everywhere. If this kid wants to try out in Cleveland, and this is really what it takes for a kid in this area to really pursue and follow those dreams of really becoming an actress on Broadway someday, and that is her dream.
Good for her.
10.
That's and it's happened before from kids in this area, thanks to you too, with the Rascals. So let's talk about the Mother's Day itself, because this is a special time. This is not only a great play for just the families, but it's a special time of year. It's Mother's Day weekend, and you do it for that reason, to celebrate Mom and give her a little treat.
Yeah, the Easy Street Mother's Day musical has kind of been a tradition now. This is our 30th year doing a show on Mother's Day, and usually it's in the big room at Powers. We've done shows like Pump Boys and Dinettes and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. A lot of our big name, big ticket shows we always try to do on Mother's Day weekend. And the nice thing is Jeff Crystal. You know Jeff. He's probably the best cook in town. He has kind of made it extra special because now he is offering a Mother's Day buffet that kind of goes right along with the show. So ever since, the Dior had its big expansion and they added on the Overture restaurant to the Dior, and now he's kind of been a part of our Mother's Day ever since. So now not only can you come and see a great show, but you can, have a great Mother's Day brunch with Mom. It's kind of like a one-stop shopping, place to bring Mom. And our shows are always family friendly. You're going to bring your mom. She's going to have a great time, just like the grandkids will have a great time. It's one of those things. And she didn't mention, but Maureen is actually the star in this show too, not just Matilda. She plays Agatha Trunchbull, which is the kind of the evil principal of the school, and I don't know if you ever saw the movie. The movie came out back in the early 90s with Danny DeVito was in it. But
you were too short for his
exactly. But the Mrs. Trunchbull character is almost kind of like a Miss Hannigan character where, she's after the kids constantly all the time. So Maureen is going to be fantastic in this part. She's got a lot to draw on, right, working with her little rascals all year long. No, but she's perfect for this role.
All right. So how do people get tickets to bring their moms?
It's easy. Yeah, you just visit the Dior website, which is youngstownsymphony.com. You can get tickets right online there. You can call them up as well. It's 330-744-0264 or youngstownsymphony.com. If you want to, add on the buffet, then you'd have to call over to your restaurant and make special reservations for that. So that's an extra thing.
But it's a great weekend. It's going to be a great show. The food, like he said, Jeff Crystal is one of the best chef extraordinaire. We have to say that. Absolutely. So I don't want to get smacked in the back of the head again. If you forget it, he brings out his business card. Right. See, it says right there, so it must be true. And I think it's on the internet, so it's got to be true. Right. But Jeff, the food is always fabulous down at the Overture. You're going to see a wonderful production put on by Easy Street. And before we go, I would be remiss now that we have you, because usually I'm stuck with him all the time. So you do one of the most wonderful things in this area with the Young Rascals. And, we always hear about, soccer and baseball and football and all the other things in cheerleading that little kids could get involved in. But the arts, you've been doing this now for quite a while and bringing these little kids up, like you said, from 3 years old. And this is a wonderful, wonderful learning experience for kids. If you've got a kid out there that's from the age of 3 years up, doesn't matter how old, get them down here and let them join the Young Rascals, the Little Rascals, excuse me, because what it does for them, not only does it teach them, how to act and everything, but what it does for their self-esteem is just immeasurable.
That's the most thing I'm most proud of. And so many parents come to me and say, my kid, it just changed them and made them more confident. And when I look at these kids, I even tell Todd of late, this is really why I feel where I feel the most comfortable now is in that classroom setting, teaching the kids. And our Little Rascal workshops are huge. I teach them down at Powers Auditorium now in a special area that was always set up called the Adler Studios. And we teach our classes there 6 Saturdays. It's painless. You come, you bring your kids, you can drop them off and hang out in a beautiful little lobby. And there's a session starting. I have 2 in the summer. On May 25th, we start again. So the show will close. I'll have a couple of weekends off, and then it's back to the grind.
Back to the grind. And what exactly do you do with them there?
Well, we try to pick themes that will excite the kids. I'm trying to think of this last one we did was it was back to Broadway, but we did some new shows that kids weren't real familiar with. In the summer, I do Hot Time in the City. We try to do some summer songs, and we're really coming up with stuff. I turned 64 this year. So I'm thinking maybe a little Beatles tribute. I never thought I would get to be 64, and they will take care of me. These kids promised me when I was 64 they would be there.
So that's why you're doing it. These are the kids that are going to pick your nursing home. Is that what you're telling me?
Don't even go there.
You don't want him doing it.
No.
And you're what, 10 years older than her? Is that what it is?
Exactly. No, he's 9 years younger, Jeff. I appreciate that.
So you're going to see a great show. Come out and see Matilda. Have dinner at the Overture. And again, if you've got a child that's between the ages of 3 and 15, 16,
take him that young.
That's right. And she does a wonderful job for them. And the self-esteem that they'll get from it, plus the camaraderie, meeting new friends, it is a wonderful workshop for them. And it's a lifelong thing that they'll take with them forever. So that's going to do it. I hope you enjoy the show down at where's that?
Well, the Dior Performing Arts Powers Auditorium.
And how do they get tickets again?
It's youngstownsymphony.com, or you could call them at 330-744-0264. Or if you want to sign up for Maureen's Little Rascal workshops, you can visit easystreetshows.com, and you can download a registration form.
There you go. You don't need anything else. Have a great time at the show, and we'll see you there, and have a great month. You take care.